Hello everybody, and today we're talking about 10.2 Guardian Druid, and this one was definitely a fun one to do for sure. We are talking about the spec that did not just fly too close into the sun, but flew right in it and came out without its wings. Pros, cons, when to break tier, we're going to be talking about that right now. Of course, this is still PTR, anything can change, but right now we are 8 days away from the patches of me recording this, so pretty good chance we're not going to see anything too drastic. So the tier bonus coming in to 10.2 is based around Rage of the Sleeper, for better or worse. Rage you spend during Rage of the Sleeper fuel the growth of Dream Thorns, which wreathe you in their protection after Rage of the Sleeper expires, absorbing 25% of the damage dealt to you while Thorns remain, up to X amount per damage, per Rage, 20 Rage spent. Each 40 rage you spend while Rage of the Sleeper is active extends its duration up to 5 seconds. So pretty much you just playing, you're going to burn enough rage for this to happen. So don't worry about it. You will get the max extension of rage going from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. When I say rage, I mean Rage of the Sleeper. Your Dream Thorns become Blazing Thorns, causing 100% of the damage absorbed to be reflected at the attacker. So we are going away from an incredibly strong tier set that was very, very strong and became overpowered with the 10.1.5 bear rework. And it's going to feel bad to lose from the moment to moment kind of going around. Raze is going to deal less damage. Mangles and Thrash are going to deal less damage. You're going to lose the 6% hot heal that you get from taking damage and just healing it back up. You're going to be losing a lot. Now, that's not fun. What's also not fun is the fact that they nerfed Blood Frenzy really, really bad. They've also rebuffed it, but not enough. So, Blood Frenzy, Thrash generates 3 rage each time it deals damage on up to 5 targets. And this is where I truly feel a buff is needed to Blood Frenzy. Now, it used to be 2 rage, and on live it is 2 rage per target per Thrash. And this is what allowed bear pulls to really just go nuts, because the more targets you had, the more rage you had, the more uptime you had on like the more uptime and more stacks of Iron Fur that you had, the more that you could go ham on spamming Raze, to be able to get Ursoc's Fury shields and just be an absolute monster. 5 targets is too little. The reason that I stand by the nerf to Blood Frenzy, I do. I think this is what needed to happen to the spec. But the problem is the 5 targets. I think this could be 8, and the average bear, the average Guardian Druid player, would not notice a difference from last season to this season. They wouldn't. Aside from the fact that it now generates 3 rage each time it deals damage on up to 3 rage. So this is going to feel better on lower target counts than it did before. If you were the type of person that only pulled 3 or 4 mobs, or you have it during, raid on single target tyrannical encounters or anything, you always felt like you just weren't generating enough rage and you wanted more targets to be able to get that up. That's going to feel a little bit better than it does live, which is good. But I honestly think 8 targets is a very good it is a very good hard cap for this. Personal opinion, that's where I think it should be, and bear would be in a perfectly fine spot. Now, what does the tier set currently do for bear? It gives us an incredible 1-minute window of good damage and good tankiness. Now, when I was testing this, man, I couldn't wait for Rage of the Sleeper to just come off cooldown, because I felt infinitely safer with this active. And I mean infinitely safer after, like, rotating through Barkskin, hitting your survival instincts, and things like that. Rage of the Sleeper now feels like an incredibly good button to press. And off kind of the basic, it was dealing about 10% damage and healing, about 10% of my damage, 10% of my healing. Some of the numbers were varying wildly. I think there's a couple of little bugs to kind of smooth out before launch, but that usually does happen and it's not a problem, because this was incredibly bugged before, where like the tier set was doing just nothing. But now it's doing stuff, which is very, very nice. We like tier sets that do stuff. So as a playstyle, every 1 minute, Rage of the Sleeper is going to occur, and you are going to feel great. And you're generally going to feel worse outside of those rage of the sleeper windows and cooldowns. So this is something that you are going to have to plan around and cycle your defensives around rage as well. And when I say rage, again, rage of the sleeper. So as a playstyle, you're pretty much not changing anything. You're going to thrash, you're going to mangle, you're going to raise an AoE, you're going to maul in single target. You're going to keep up your stacks of Iron Fur. Moonfire is still a thing that you're going to hit, and low target counts to be able to just squeeze in some extra damage. And upkeep if you have nothing else to press. And if you truly have nothing else to press, you'll press Swipe. Although Swipe does generate some good rage in AoE, so if you do Thrash and you kind of miss one, and you don't have full rage, you can go from a Thrash to a Swipe, and then go into your Mangle, Raise, or whatever you need to. Do know that Raise needs to be aimed. It is a frontal. It's not an all around you, versus like, Thrash is everything around you, Swipe is everything around you. So this is more of a how you go into your pull and kind of things to look at. Playstyle changes are not going to change too much going in. When to break tier? That is the question, right? So you're going to lose 20% raise damage, and casting Iron for a raise is going to, you're going to lose the health bump by 3% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, 15%. You're going to be losing that, but you are going to be gaining a fairly strengthy, not quite the right word for it. You're going to gain a good defensive bonus. So you're going to give up some offensive raise damage or maul, depending on both, for a better defensive kit once a minute. So it all depends on kind of how you want to do things here. If you want to wait until you get your 4-piece to break your current 4-piece, you can do that. We haven't seen a nerf come into the Bear Aberrus set yet, so that's also very, very good. So that's something that you can judge. But if you are just looking at gaining a little bit more tankiness and just generally, feeling more bear than you're going to feel this season, I would break it and go 2-2 and then your new 4-piece. That's what I have for you today. Unfortunately, bear is not what it is in 10.1. For better or worse, that just kind of is what it is. I am going to be doing beginner's guides and 10.2 guides on bears as well. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to watch those when they come out. Have yourself a good one, everyone. Happy tanking. Bye.